Listeners beware, you're in for a scare. Good morning, class. Welcome to Nightmare on Fear Street and R.L. Stein podcast.
Good morning, Mr. Zack.
Today's lesson involves to read final grade, and, we're going to infer if it was good, the characters were well, and, oh, by the way, guess what? Guess what the extra credit assignment is for y'all?
Murder.
Murder!
Yay, I guessed right.
Yep, you get a gold star. Bing! Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Meg.
And, oh my god, that was actually really funny.
Yep. Anyway, so, Final Grade is a book from the Fear Street series. Not Ghosts of Fear Street, but this is the OG Fear Street series, which is, aimed at a young adult audience.
Oh yeah, it was super young adult. There's my favorite parts are all the people that died, didn't die, and people that work in drugstores.
Oh man, the true teen experience.
Yes, I don't know anyone who didn't work in a drugstore in the late 80s, early 90s.
I applied for a job at a chemist's once. I didn't get it.
Is that what they call it in Australia?
You don't call it a drugstore because, you don't just get drugs at the chemist.
We call it a pharmacy.
Yeah, chemist, pharmacy. Do you know what they call them in Europe?
Apothecaries?
Yeah, I know. How cool is that?
Good sir, I'd like to get something from the local apothecary. Is the local wizard in today?
Yeah, it's like, can I get some Eye of Newt from my love potion?
That's gonna be 5 shillings. What?
5 golden. What's the money called in Harry Potter? Like the
galleons.
Golden galleons. 5 golden galleons.
That's absurd. I would never pay that.
Yeah, the golden galleon is the big one. What's the small one?
Knuts.
Bronze knuts. Yeah.
Bronze knuts and then sickles.
Silver sickles. Yeah. I wonder if anybody's gone through and figured out what the exchange rate is for Harry Potter World.
They have the exchange rate. Hagrid says it. It's I know it, and it's awful that I know some of it. So it's 29 knuts to 1 silver, and then I think it's 19.
No, I mean, but how is a nut equivalent to how many British pounds is a golden galleon equivalent to? That's what I want to know. Okay, but this is not a Harry Potter podcast. We really should not be having this conversation. Anyway.
So, Meg, how was your spooky week?
My spooky week was, it's been raining a lot, so I haven't really been able to do much. And I had to take my dog to the vet because he sprained his foot.
How? Poor baby.
He ran too fast.
He ran too fast?
He ran too fast, and he probably stepped on a rock or something.
Oh, is he in doggy cast?
No, he doesn't have a doggy cast. We just have to give him pain medication and see if it goes away, and then if it doesn't, we're getting back in for an x-ray. But bless him, he's 7 years old, but he still plays like a puppy.
Yeah, it's like my dog. She got knubs for feet and...
little stumpy feet. Oh my gosh. My mom's friend has this poodle, and the poodle... She shaves the poodle's body, the torso is shaved, but the legs have, really long fur on them, so they look like sofa legs, and her feet look like tiny little nubs, and it's so funny. And she's also, let the dog's hair grow out really long on her snout, so she's got, a pom-pom snout, so every time I see this dog, I just grab her by the nose. Because you can't not, because she's just got the squishiest nose. It's so good.
Oh, it's so pure.
So pure and so good.
So how are your babies?
They are doing well in the rain. I had to sort of waterproof their blocks a little bit more today. Daisy continues to be up in my room healing. Sebastian and Forrest are out in the world enjoying themselves.
Oh yes, for all those people that don't know that listen to the podcast for the first time, Meg's got possums.
I am a wildlife carer. I currently have in care 1 common Australian ringtail possum, and I've just released 2 juvenile eastern brushtails. How is your spooky week?
My spooky week was super spooky. Unfortunately, I signed a paper, so I can't talk about the thing that got me really giddy in the last couple of days. But I got to see something that made me super happy, and it was worth waiting in line for 5 hours.
Oh, also, I forgot another spooky thing that I did. I've been going back and binging those Slenderman ARGs from 2010. I just finished up Everyman Hybrid, and I've now gone back and rewatched most of Marble Hornets.
So are you gonna like take your friend out in the woods and murder them for the sake of Slender Man?
Yes, that's literally what I'm going to do, Zach.
Okay, well, I'm free Friday.
You're next. Death comes for you.
Thank you.
No eyes, always watching.
You're gonna start putting paper around the woods for me? Ooh,
Yep.
a piece of paper.
It's got a circle with an X through it. What does that mean? What is this delightful hobo symbol?
Other than that, I got to see Kong Skull Island. You'll get to hear a wonderful talk about that.
We had some thoughts.
We had some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And other than that, just work, school, work, school, work. Yeah, more school and more work. So I didn't really do much besides do all that stuff. But we did get a chance to read Final Grade this week.
Final Grade. I should not have related to this book as much as I did.
Even I related to this book as much as I did. Do you want to describe this cover?
Okay, so you've got our main character, Lily, in a very cool, dark, maroon sort of spotty
Dress?
t-shirt style dress. And she is leaping across the room in a fit of rage at who I assume is her teacher, Mr. Did you say is it Renner or Rayner?
I said wrong. I thought when I looked at it, it was Rayner.
I was reading it as Renner.
I don't know. He's just German and he's dead in the first 5 seconds. So who cares?
Whatever. Yeah. So she is leaping across the table with her arms extended like she's going to strangle him, and he's trying to push her away as papers fly around them, and there's like a desk and a chalkboard in the background, and it's pretty tense. And also, he's kind of got his tie is flipping over his shoulder, and for a second I thought he was wearing like some kind of sweet scarf.
I thought when I first saw this cover, like for the first seconds, I had like visual dyslexia instead of my regular dyslexia, and I thought that she was strangling him with the tie.
She's doing the Force thing. She's strangling him with her mind.
She is the Last Jedi. Confirmed.
Spoilers for Star Wars 8.
Lily, don't you mean Rey Skywalker?
Don't you mean Ray-Wan Kenobi?
Don't you mean Rey Boba Fett?
Oh man, that would be cool. Anything would be cool. If she's related to anyone and if she's not just some lady, that'd be good.
Rey Jabba the Hutt?
That doesn't make any sense.
It could make sense if you think about it.
I don't want to think about that hard. Anyway, do you want me to read the back of this book or not?
Oh, we forgot the most important part of this. The pun.
What's the pun?
Will Lily get an A in murder?
Dun dun dun.
Lightning crackle, crackle.
Can I read the back?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Everyone thinks she killed her teacher. Intense, competitive Lily Bancroft had good reasons to hate him. She lives to win, and he was about to destroy her dreams. But murder? That was going too far, even for someone as driven as Lily. She's innocent. But that hasn't stopped the whispers behind her back, or the weird phone calls late at night. But then someone else is brutally murdered, and suddenly Lily is drawn into a nightmare she can't begin to control. Will her final grade be her last?
Bum, bum, bum. This book was weird.
This book was way too relatable. And I think that just says something bad about me. I had like flashbacks to a time when I got a C in English, and I ran out of the classroom crying.
I was never like that. I was always a D.C. student until I started getting into more AP classes.
I was an overachiever, but I was like a middle of the road overachiever. So like I was always like, if I don't get a B, I'm gonna die.
I know people that are like that have to get A's or they are not coming home.
I never tried to get A's because I always thought, that's putting too much pressure on myself. But I always tried for at least a B.
I know by the end of the year, I had a 3.8 GPA.
Oh, well, I graduated with a 90 ATAR, but I think that like half of that was because I got scaled up for being a girl who took physics, because if you are female and you take physics, they give you extra points on your ATAR.
Huh.
Because
I didn't know that.
Because your class sizes are really, like, small, so you're at a disadvantage. ATAR is like the Australian equivalent of GPA. It's the score that gets you into college.
Oh, ATAR, it sounds like some weird, like, ship's weapon system.
It used to be called UAI, which was just University Admissions Index, but they changed the name to ATAR right before I started taking my exams. And me and my friends always joked that it sounded like a character from He-Man.
ATAR
and the Sword of Grades.
He actually is a teacher. He-Man, you must solve this question in standardized test form, or
You must pass 3-unit maths.
300 maths. That sounds like a currency.
Three unit maths. That's like the no, actually, I think a 4-unit maths exists, but only for like insane people to take. For all the other subjects, it's just like you have like normal and then advanced. But then maths has like different tiers of advancedness. It's not just like there's normal and then there's advanced, or like what you would call AP. There's like general maths, and then there's 3-unit, which is like intermediate, and then there's like 4-unit, which is god tier maths.
God tier.
God tier.
I can deconstruct the entire...
Do you hate sleeping? Then 4-unit maths is for you.
You just hear like them whisper, like the overachiever mom. She just whispers, "What's pi?" And they see it in the 100-letter form.
Oh my god! And I'm just imagining like a beautiful mind with like the letters going by, and he's like writing the stuff. Anyway, oh my god.
This book, the sad thing is that these jokes are like, this book writes itself in joke form.
I know. Because basically the whole thing of this book is that you've got Lily, who is dead set on being class valedictorian because both of her sisters were class valedictorian.
She almost has like the Ronald Weasley effect.
Yeah, it is. Except nobody in Ron Weasley's family was an overachiever except for Percy and...
Charlie.
Bill.
Was it Bill? Oh, yeah, Bill was head boy. Charlie was head of Quidditch. Head boy Quidditch.
Bill is like, Bill's got some fancy pants job. He's like graduated and he's doing some fancy pants job. Charlie is like...
studying dragons in Romania.
Yeah, he's like a dragon vet or something. And then Percy is head prefect, and then all of the other Weasleys are burnouts. The boys, anyway. Ginny's pretty smart.
But yeah, so Lily, she's very overcompetitive because the book starts off with her getting a B.
And she's trying to haggle the grade up with her teacher, and that just... I remember when I was in high school and I had a teacher tell us, when you're in university, don't try to haggle your grades up because the professor will just hate you for doing that. I was never that kid, though. I just kind of like would accept defeat and go cry somewhere. But there were some of my classmates who would be like, miss, you actually gave me a grade. You didn't give me a grade for this thing that I actually got right, and you should have given me an extra mark. So, Lily's one of those kids.
Well, I remember one of my teachers, I remember the weird thing about college we can bring up now is that, like, college is super easy compared to actual high school.
Oh man, they hype up college so much, but then real college, it's just like, the teacher will be like, okay, here, my baby is sick, so I'm just gonna sit over here with my baby. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
No, I had a teacher come in and he's just like, hey guys, I'm a little wasted from last night, so if you guys would you guys like to watch a video? Yeah, just write like 3 notes about it and, I'll give you an A for this.
College is, I'm just thinking of the John Mulaney bit where when you're in primary school, nobody cares about your opinion, but once you get to college, it's all your opinion. It's like you put your hand up and go, excuse me, I think Emily Dickinson was a lesbian, and the teacher's like, high distinction.
Yeah, no, so in this book, Lily hypes up like going to college. She needs to go to an Ivy League school.
Oh man.
And she has to be valedictorian or else. There's Rick, and then that's pretty much it, because Rick's the smarty pants.
Now, remind me, who was Rick?
Rick is the other guy, the guy that's almost the valedictorian in this book.
Is that the one who drives around in the Porsche?
Yeah, he's also like gets killed later on. So, okay, yes. So the book opens up.
I was thinking, wasn't his name Graham? But then I was just like, he reminds me of a guy that I know called Graham, so I'm just like projecting.
Oh wait, no, you are right. His name is Graham because there's the other. Okay, Rick is the guy that keeps trying to hit on Lily.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, Rick is the delivery boy.
Yeah, he's the delivery boy. I'm looking at my notes wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but we read this book a while ago.
He's the guy that would drive around with a hoverboard and vape all day.
The nice guy.
Yeah.
Because he basically just comes up to her, and like there's a point where he's like, so you want to go to the movies? And she's like, I have a boyfriend. He goes, geez, why are you being so mean to me or something?
God, nice guys always finish last.
Nice guys finish last. And he tips his fedora and like hoverboards away.
So yeah, so she's trying to haggle Mr. Rayner about like getting her grade up, and he's just like, well, you see, you could have gotten an A, but you just weren't trying enough. And this,
Oh, man.
and she's just mad, and she's like, well, can I do extra credit? Can I do all this stuff? Like, nope, sorry, but this will leave my GPA at a B.
Dun-dun-dun. And then she imagines herself strangling him to death, which is the cover.
Yeah, which is the cover, and she like almost like pops his eyeballs out.
Yeah, it's quite a, like, being used to the, like, kiddie books that R.L. Stine writes, I was quite taken aback by the, like, the level of, like, human-on-human violence that occurs in this book.
And then the next scene is just like, Lily, is everything okay?
I'm just imagining that as a movie where they do, like, the ripple transition, and you hear the echoey voice that's like, Lily, 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 Lily. And then they have, like, the magical xylophone music, like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure like all this, if this was a movie, all the soundtrack would be like super synth music.
Oh yeah, like full on John Carpenter. So then she meets up with her friend. She meets up with her friend after class, and her friend's like, "What's wrong, Lily?" And Lily says something to the effect of, "Man, I could just murder that Mr. Renner."
It's like, wow, don't say that in school. Wait, you can't say that in school. This is the 80s.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh yes, but Lily had forgotten that Julie's boyfriend was murdered last summer by a crazed killer or something like that.
No, it wasn't her boyfriend. It was her brother.
Oh yeah, it was her brother was shot.
Yeah, in a robbery.
That made for a pretty awkward moment where she's just like, man, I could just kill him. And then Julie's like, don't say that. Someone I know was killed. Then Lily's got this boyfriend called Alex.
Yeah, and he's like as preppy can get. He's white as sour cream.
And he keeps like jumping out behind her and stuff.
And scaring her.
Yeah, so he it's like, yes, I will be your jump scare for this evening.
Yes, I will be your jump scare for this evening.
And so then she gets picked up by Graham in his Porsche, and Graham is her cousin, I think.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that? Yeah. And he is like, well, I'm going to win this big trivia competition. Make sure to come and compete so I can totally own you at trivia.
Do you think your nephew could beat this guy?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For those who have not listened before, I have a nephew who is basically real-life Klaus Baudelaire from A Series of Unfortunate Events. He is just a tome of random facts.
Yo, by the way, speaking of that, we got renewed for second season.
Oh, yes! Ah!
I woke up doing like a raptor screech.
That was a very good raptor screech.
Thank you.
Don't do it again, though. I am wearing headphones.
I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry for everyone. So then Alex takes her to... No, I'm sorry. So then Graham takes her to, Lily has a part-time job at Crazy Uncle Bob's pharmacy for all your pharmacy needs.
And she's trying to do her homework while she's working.
She's doing calculus. Did you ever see that movie?
What?
Okay, there's a movie called Stand...
Just assume that I have never seen a movie.
All of a sudden, this guy comes up and he's like shady as heck. It turns out to be Rick. And he's just hitting on...
He starts hitting on Lily.
Even though she does the thing of I have a boyfriend, and he's just like, so?
Do?Rick is just the scummiest guy. Like, he keeps flirting with her when she's at work. When he sees that she's trying to do something, and he can see that, and he comes and starts hitting on her. And then she tells him very clearly that she has a boyfriend. And he's like, oh, why are you like this?
Yeah, that's when, okay, he's a neckbeard. He's like...
He is a neckbeard. Oh, he's the neckiest of beards.
Like, if this was My Little Pony was out at this time, he would just be like...
Oh, man. It was, but, guys didn't watch it back
yeah,
then.
No, this is, differently. So it's like...
Yeah.
he opens up his closet, he has, his fedora collection. What will I wear today, my pretties?
He's got his, anime waifu pillow.
After this, I'm going to watch Overwatch. All the animatics.
Yeah, I'm going to play Overwatch, and I'm going to yell at 12-year-olds. Anyway, so, then this other shady guy comes into the store.
Yeah, and then he pulls out a gun.
A real one!
I feel like, when I think of it, guns, if this was, the Goosebumps, he'd pull, finger guns. No one moves, eh?
Oh, yeah, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they edit the guns out in the American version, and people are just, pointing at each other.
So he pulls out he pulls out his finger gun and is like, give me all the money and the cash, because this is 1930s. I'm
gonna point at you.
Put the money in this comically sized bag with the money sign that I put on it.
Oh man, and he's wearing a striped shirt and a little mask. Oh, so anyway, then Uncle Bob pulls his gun on the other guy.
Yeah, because Uncle Bob's packing heat.
Oh, man. And he explains that it was because someone else got shot at some point, and he was like, well, ever since that happened, I feel like we gotta be safe, so I got a gun. And so then Lily
goes back the next day to try to...
First Rick tries to ask her out again, I'm pretty sure. He's like, hey, do you want to come and go out for dinner? Hey, did you me? And she's like, no, go away, Rick. And she goes home, and she's gonna do some more studying, and it's like... I feel like if somebody pointed a gun at me, I would not be thinking about studying.
No, because she was so worried because she's like, the reason why she wants to be super well is because her mom had a stroke and her dad. Because he says like one of the scummiest things because he calls her like, we heard all about it. You're still going to get that A, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we just want you to, we want what's best for you. And it's like, dude, your daughter just got like stuck up.
Held up at gunpoint.
Yeah, and you're worried about her GPA? Man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, she's got like a real helicopter dad.
And yeah,
Okay, and then she gets a weird phone call.
Yeah, it's just like 7 days.
The calls were coming from inside the house. Anyway, so yeah, she picks up the phone, and the guy on the other line is like he puts his mouth like right next to the phone. He's like, "What are you wearing?"
See, and then at that point, I've been like, every minute's about $15.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's how you get rid of them. You do it Jack's film style, and every time you say something, you just say, me, big boy.
She goes to school super early the next day just to try to convince...
Because she's on the school paper.
Yeah, she's got a news to crack, but she also wants to, like, get her GPA up, so she goes back to Mr. Rayner's room, and she finds that he's hung himself.
Has he really? Or did he just, like, fall off the... Because I think he falls off the ladder that goes up to the bookshelf. He falls off it, and he cracks his head open on the desk. Because she describes seeing, like, a big pool of blood on the floor.
I think, that would make more sense.
Because everybody was saying it was an accident.
Okay.
And obviously, like, hanging yourself, that does not happen accidentally.
So you're telling me that he hung himself in the middle of the room without any tables or chairs?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, I'm thinking of... No, because then Graham dies, and he gets, like, squished to death. People
start spreading the rumor, basically, that she killed him.
Yep, Lily is a murderer because of what she whispered to Julia.
Yeah, she told Julie, like, as a joke, man, I could just murder that guy. And now she is the prime suspect.
Yeah, and then that goes away because everyone forgets about it after they say it's an accident.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you notice that the staff of the school, it's not really the school paper, it's the school magazine. Because they don't publish articles, they publish, like, writing from the students. Like, short stories and essays that students have submitted. It's not really, like, journalistic. But the school magazine, the staff of the school magazine is literally 4 people.
You know what's even funnier? When I went to school I was on the school AV news team, and we used to talk so bad about the newspaper, and they used to talk so bad about us.
We have a school magazine, but, like, the school prints it. The kids don't print it.
We print the articles, but I remember, like, one of the articles one year was about, like, SpongeBob SquarePants and, you know, each one representing the 7 deadly sins, and then, like, this...
Oh, man!
That was like the title, like, headline.
Hardline journalism.
It is, you have to crack the case. Tom Kenny's trying to summon Cthulhu.
The world must know. Wake up, America. Anyway, so, so then she's like... She doesn't do herself any favors by still being like, well, maybe the new teacher will give me an A, you know? Like, okay, Lily, a guy died, okay?
And all you care about is the GPA? Man, you're helicoptering yourself.
Yeah, she's self-helicoptering at this point.
So she's trying to take her mind off it by trying to learn all the useless trivia because Graham she's
gonna beat Graham. She's gonna whoop him in the trivia contest.
Yeah, because then they do like the Rocky Balboa montage where it's like she just doesn't sleep.
It's like her reading books and it would like duh, 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 duh,
dun,
dun, dun, dun. Anyway,
I guess it's like she starts up running and she's like all these like cue cards of just like calculus and then
and Spanish. She does a lot of like studying for Spanish,
which I don't think even comes into play in this book whatsoever.
No, not really. But she just references it. So then, like later that day, she gets another phone call and the guy's like, "I know all about you. You just got what you wanted. don't you want to thank me or something like that? And she thinks it's Graham trying to pull her leg. So she's like, hang up, Graham. This isn't funny. And then the guy hangs up and they go to the paper mill. They go to the paper mill because that's where they go to print the school magazine. And there's like a nighttime foreman.
Yep, old Smithy.
We get a good jump scare out of him because they're like, "Who's that man?"
Why, it's me, Smithy. I've been at this paper since paper's been invented.
Just like my grandfather before me, I am the paper mill foreman.
Yes, it's a long line of paper mill foremans. Luckily, it's 2 days to retirement.
She runs into Rick again at the drugstore, right? So like they meet up and she has to rush from the meeting of the paper mill to the drugstore, and she runs into Rick on the way. And Rick is like, "Hey, I heard about your teacher. Haha, now you're gonna get that A, right?" And she's like, "Shut up, Rick.
A man died, Rick. You don't have time for this.
A guy died, Rick." And
so you want to go out with me?
Rick's like, you suck up or something. I just want to get to know you. Where you been in a minute? You know, just like classic man whining. Classic neckbeard whining. She goes back to the paper mill for some reason.
No, because she forgot something.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay,
she forgot something and she heads to the paper mill and it finds out that there's red ink everywhere. No, wait.
Well, she almost gets crushed by a stack of paper.
Oh, wait.
Like a big paper roll falls over and it almost hits her.
Yes, and then she notices something. There's red ink everywhere. No, wait. It's not ink. It's Graham's blood.
Oh, and then Graham has been killed.
Yes, it sucks that he wrote his entire autobiography in red ink as well.
Yeah, I know.
Solve anything. So the police come and they're like, whoop, it's an accident. He got caught like an old-timey like child in a, industrial mill.
He got his tie caught in the paper roller.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing a tie. He got his tie caught in the paper roller.
Yep. Actually, because he drives a Porsche, he probably had like his sweater like around like his neck, kind of.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely.
And so he got his polo sweater stuck in the paper roller.
Yeah, and
taking him and his khakis with it.
And then she and Scott. I don't think we talked about Scott. Scott is the other guy who's on the paper.
Yeah, he's like in charge of the paper.
And Alex is really jealous of Scott all the time. He's like, "Oh, I know you have the hots for Scott. Why don't you just go out with Scott? You always want to do what Scott wants to do, like."
Yeah, but they don't really even introduce Scott until, like...
Yeah, Scott is, like, a non-entity through most of this plot. To the point that I forgot he was here until just now.
Big shock, they reveal, as they're walking away, because Scott takes her home, that he murdered Graham and Mr. Rayner because he's really obsessed with, Lily.
Wait, we forgot to say that Graham, before he dies, he beats her in the trivia competition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why Scott kills him.
Yeah, so Scott kills him because of that. I'm trying to think, who's the lady from Misery?
Annie Wilkes.
Thank you. Yeah, so they have like the Annie Wilkes moment where takes him to the car and Lily is like, no, don't do anything to me. Oh, I won't hurt you. You just have to break up with your boyfriend so you can start dating me because I'm crazy about you.
So she goes to Graham's funeral and she imagines that like Graham comes up out of the casket and tells everybody that she killed him.
Because Scott says that if he doesn't date her, that he will write in the paper that it was actually her.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They'll also be both wanted for murder, because he'll reveal himself as well.
So he wants the whole, like, Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Yeah. He's got some serious problems.
Yeah, he needs help. Someone should go check on Scott.
She accidentally lies to Alex and says that she's going to stay home, but she really decides to go on a date with Scott just in a way to figure out why he's so, like, crazy in the face.
Insane in the membrane.
Yeah, insane in the membrane. So she says, oh, we'll go to this one place. And I go, that's really far away. But I really want to see the new Winona Ryder movie. And
Which movie is that?
I know the movie because this book came out in 1995. And I used to have a weird, like, Winona Ryder. Like, I just watched all the stuff she was in. This was like 14, 15.
I think we all, at some point, had a crush on Winona Ryder.
So the movie was How to Make an American Quilt. And it was okay of a movie.
But that's the only Winona Ryder movie that was in theaters in 1995. Yeah. Great detective work, Zach.
It was good detective work.
You're back on the force.
Thank you. Now if you need me, I'm going to be holding up some Christmas lights and screaming at a wall.
Aren't we all? Every moment of every day.
That's what I'm doing.
Spiritually, holding Christmas lights and yelling at the wall.
And crying.
And then spray painting letters and numbers under the Christmas lights.
Don't you do that?
To communicate with people in other dimensions.
Well, I mean, you're already...
Stranger Things Season 2 comes out this year in Halloween. # not sponsored.
Well, I mean, you're already Barb and, Justice for Barb.
Yeah. Yep, I'm Barb. Barb is me. I lived. Can we talk about the ending and how just...
Then Alex finds out, because he actually was getting pizza at that exact same place.
What a coincidence.
Bum, bum, bum. Actually, no, I think
then
it was
again,
Rick.
Shady Side is not supposed to be a big town, so I feel like it's only got like one good pizza restaurant.
Yeah, it's got the one pizza restaurant, and he freaks out, and he's like, I never want to see you again. Actually, I should say it. I never want to see you again. We were supposed to play polo tomorrow. Well, tough luck. And he walks out, khakis and all. And Scott decides to kidnap Lily and take her to the paper mill to murder her, basically. They get there, and he's like trying to like, wait, Lily gets the gun first.
Yep.
So before this all happens, he actually goes back to the pharmacy.
And Scott says, well, Lily lets it slip that Julie told her about the message.
Oh,
right?
Yes, that's the reason, because Julie has been on the case just because she reads a lot of like Nancy Drew books.
Because somebody left a message on the answering machine at the paper mill for Graham. And that, I don't remember how, but that somehow proves that it wasn't an accident.
Yes, it was a murder. It was. Yeah. If it wasn't obvious before, it's obvious now.
Lily mentions that to Julie, and so then Scott now wants to kill Julie.
And wants to kill Lily, so Lily goes to the pharmacy, picks up Crazy Uncle Bob's gun, because this is before you need, like, registration papers.
This was back in the lawless time that was the early 90s, where nobody had gun safes.
Yeah, so she picks it up from, like, I think from, like, behind the counter. Like, I thought of it like, like in old action movies where they have the gun underneath the table on, like, a hinge?
Yes.
It's like that.
Yes.
So she takes out the shotgun. And she runs it over.
And I really want it to be like, as she's going out of the drugstore, she grabs like the lipstick off the tester lipstick out of the drugstore, and she does like Rambo war paint on her face. And she's like, she cocks the gun, she's like, let's do this.
No, she doesn't clock the gun. She actually grabs like two like snap bracelets.
Oh, yes.
Like, lock and load.
Choo, 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 choo.
So she's ready to like murder Scott. So she goes to the paper mill, and Julia isn't there. It's only her and Scott. But then Julia comes and she's like, I solved the case. It's old man Jenkins.
No, it's not.
And it's like, it was Scott all along. Wait, it was Scott?
She tried and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't really matter.
And it doesn't really matter. And then Scott grabs the gun from Lily and shoots Julia, and she falls down dead. But the call was coming from inside the house.
They were dogs the whole time. No.
It was the plants.
Julie gets back up again, grabs a metal bar, and hits Scott over the head with it.
Just once.
And it turns out that Uncle Bob's gun was actually a starter pistol.
Yes, and if you don't know what that is, it just shot blanks.
Yeah, it's the thing that they go, like, at the beginning of a race when they shoot the gun off. That's the thing.
You gotta be careful with those things can still kill you, so...
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's how Brandon Lee died, isn't it? They thought it had an old bullet stuck in the gun before they put the blanks in.
I think my favorite thing, though, is that Julie explains that I must have gotten knocked out when he shot me. Like, she was so clumsy, she knocked herself out.
Womp womp.
Or I thought, like, it would have been, like, you know how actually during firing squads, a lot of the times the people actually die of heart attacks rather than being shot?
Oh, yeah. I can believe that. I mean, like, having somebody point a gun at you is pretty stressful.
But having, like, a team of people going to fire a gun at you?
Yeah.
So then the cops come and they take Scott away because he confessed?
No, Scott dies?
No, Scott didn't die. The police came. Because then, like, Lily's dad is too busy to, like, actually take her own daughter who was being held at gunpoint. So Crazy Uncle Bob comes over and that's to explain, it was a starter pistol all along, guys. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And then Rick's like, now it's my chance. Hey, babe, you want to get a malt? And she's like, I guess.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and guess what? She's valedictorian now because Graham's dead.
Oh.
Happy
the only
endings.
Acceptable ending.
I feel like there'd also be like a title like when they have at the end of movies where they'd have like...
Where they like explain where everyone is now.
Yeah.
Rick is now the moderator of Our Nice Guys.
Our Nice Guys. Julia she changed her name to J.K. Rowling and wrote Harry Potter and Casual Vacancy.
Yes, and
Lily fulfilled most of her life becoming valedictorian and peaking after that, and now she lives with a family of 5.
Yeah, and she graduated with honors of from university, but like people mysteriously died all around her.
No, she now spends most of her time as the manager of McDonald's with her college degree.
Her college degree that did not get her a job in anything. And that's the real horror. And that's the story.
And Scott finally got cured, and he married Charles Manson.
Good for him. Yeah, so like I said, should not have been as relatable as it was.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are relatable about this book, such as, people wanting to, like, really achieve their goals.
Yeah. And, like, getting real into your grades, like, too much.
Yeah, which could cause people to be crazy and commit murder. Yeah, it's a little crazy. And how relatable that is, except a lot of the characters didn't seem like characters whatsoever in this book.
Yeah, they just kind of, like, happened.
They were just to get from point A to point C.
Yeah, especially Rick, because Rick existed... Like, I don't know, I think Rick existed to be a red herring because you think that Rick is gonna be the killer almost because he's so jerky.
I thought it was gonna be Alex and that he just wanted his girlfriend to achieve, or I thought it might have been her dad.
Oh, that would have been a better twist if it had been the dad the whole time.
Or actually the one that I was thinking about the most when I first heard it was actually her mom because she was the one that had the stroke and maybe that would have made her like crazy or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like young adult, like what would be the craziest...
What would have been the better plot twist?
I think it would have been her mom. Like she's so crazy from the stroke that she'll do anything for her little baby angel.
Yeah, like I definitely think if it had been her mom or her dad, it would have been really good.
I mean, this book also it was enjoyable. I read it without any stopping.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I mean, we haven't really read much more Fear Street because Fear Street for us is very different because we
there is a certain continuity to Fear Street that I have heard of. Like certain characters are related to each other and they appear in different books and like they make references to other things that have happened.
Okay.
Like I think the thing about Julia's brother getting shot, I think that happens in one of the other Fear Street books.
That would be neat.
It's sort of like a loose interconnectedness to it so that like each
the Fear Street cinematic universe.
Yeah, the Fear Street cinematic universe.
Or I guess would it be the Fear Street literary universe?
Yeah. If they made movies of Fear Street, would it be like...
So where's the post-credit scene for this after the book?
Yeah, where Samuel L. Jackson comes and gives Lily her college acceptance letter.
Yeah. I'm assembling a special team.
You're gonna go to Yale, Lily. You know how to reach me, Lily.
Yeah.
Just call this number, and it's like one of those secret cards where like the number's holographic. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
And then the movie ends and everyone freaks out. Oh my god, Lily's going to Yale. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, and so I'm interested to see if we like read another Fear Street book, like if they reference any of these families or these characters again.
Yeah, no, I hopefully they do because I know in Ghosts of Fear Street they do the exact same thing.
Really?
I believe, yeah, they do because it's set in Shadyside.
I know, but like I thought that the whole point of Ghost of Fear Street was that it was more episodic than like it didn't have as much continuity than Fear Street because I guess R.L. Stine thinks like little kids can't follow stuff.
Well, I think it's different. So
I
just remember because there's a sequel to Hide and Go Shriek. But I don't think it has nothing to do with...
Is it called Hopscotch and Die?
No, it's called Hide and Go Shriek 2. Peter's Electric Boogaloo.
Pete.
So, I don't know what it looks like, but the cover of that is so bad. It's like awful like 90s animation. Because I don't know what happened, so it's like one of the last books. So it's interesting to look at.
I thought next week, for a change, I would be the book picker. And for your entertainment, I have selected a classic, locally produced, and by locally, I mean in Victoria, Australia, not like down the road from me or anything. But a good, wholesome, homegrown Goosebumps ripoff called Body Parts by Margaret Clark from the Hair Raisers series.
Now, did you do any research on hair raisers?
I found her website. I found Margaret Clark's website, which has explanations of all of the books that she wrote, and I will read some of them to you because they are very funny.
Didn't you tell me this site was like made in the 90s?
The site is so old, it looks like it was made 20 years ago by a child. And it says some of these books, it lists some of these books as new, So I feel like she just hasn't updated her website in forever.
Then why is she paying for the domain name?
I hope Margaret Clark is okay.
I'd love to have her on the show.
I would, but I cannot find any, recent contact information. The only information is the post office box in Victoria that I don't know if it's still active, so I would be hesitant to send a letter to it.
Can't you call up the post office and ask if if that's still
I'll
a thing?
try and figure out how to do it. Anyway, who likes to get scared?
I don't.
Then read The Hair Raisers by Lee Stryker, who is really me, Margaret Clark. Why did I call myself Lee Stryker? Because I thought if I got a name that started with St, the bookstores would put my books next to R.L. Stein's Goosebumps series. And then you kids would buy them.
Wait. Stop the presses. Funny joke. Stop the presses. Is that really what it says?
That's literally what this says. This is so funny. Okay, so here are some of the titles. Evil at Camp Star. Just imagine you go to a school camp and there are man-eating sized rats, which is star spelled backwards. Is Margaret Clark drill? Because these read like drill tweets. They're just very strangely worded. Revenge of the Vampire Librarian. Body parts. Just imagine someone wants your heart, lungs, stomach, brain, but the use-by date hasn't expired, and you're still using them. So it's basically a repo, but kids.
Yay.
So that should be a fun read.
Is Paris Hilton in this book?
Would you be more likely to read it if I said yes?
No.
Then no, she's not.
Oh, thank God, we're gonna read this book. But is it gonna be like a musical? Do I get to watch it like can I read this book at midnight?
Oh, here's one of my favorite ones. Humans for breakfast. Got the idea for this one at the Adelaide airport. Just imagine the plane gets hijacked by aliens and you have to work in an underground cave to strip for the metal while lizard creatures screech at you and then they eat you.
This sounds like I need like a tinfoil hat and this is like some weird conspiracy theory.
I know. I don't know Margaret Clark, but I love her and I want her to be my best friend.
We gotta find her. If she's okay, she needs to be on our show. I can't wait to read Body Parts in the Hair Raiser series, which you just told me on this. I've not heard of this before, so it's a Australian thing. You're gonna have to explain some things to me, hopefully.
I probably will. But anyway, that comes to the end of our discussion of Final Grade.
So, where can they reach you, Meg?
I am at Meg Tuten on Twitter. That's at MEGTUTEN. And I am sodasodabanana.tumblr.com.
You can reach me at Suda41, or you can reach the show at Night Fear Street. You can even email the show at nightmareandfearstreet@gmail.com. Please leave us a cool iTunes review because they're really awesome. And if you want to do it, why don't you put it in the style of a grade? Like, how would you rate?
Yeah, grade this episode on iTunes.
Yes, and make sure to be as honor roll as possible.
Yes.
So thank you guys for listening to another wonderful episode, and we really appreciate it. You guys are all truly amazing, and
you all get high distinctions. You all graduate
all
valedictorian. You are all ducks of the class. You are all little ducks in a row.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm Zach.
And I'm Meg.
Bye. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Bye.